Welcome into Crossing the Aisle on this beautiful Friday on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, and we're here actually when most people I've talked to all morning are not working. I guess I'm not really working today either. I took the day off.
You
So
told me we were off
yeah,
today,
we're off
so
today. We're off today, but we're here. We're here working right now. So, I mean, there you
yeah,
go.
this is fun though.
Yeah, it is actually fun. This is actually the fun part of the day. So I hope everybody's having a great start to this weekend where we honor those that have given it all for this country, which is a very important thing. We celebrate on Monday for people that put the country over themselves and
Not Confederate Memorial Day,
not
but
Confederate.
actual Memorial Day.
Yeah, actual Memorial Day. So just it's great to honor those, and and I'm glad that we have a holiday that we do this. So
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Shaun, you're a veteran.
yes, I am, but this is not Veterans Day. This is Memorial Day. I know everybody gets confused about that.
Well, no, I mean I know the difference,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying,
yeah, no, it's
everyone
so.
that's a veteran pretty much risked their life at some point
Yeah, it's a
or
great thing.
signed up to do so.
I think service is a wonderful thing. You know, if you decide to join the military and serve your country, I think that's one of the highest honors I've ever had in my life. So, and I'm very
Other than
appreciative.
dating me.
Yes, yeah, that's it. So anyway, thank you to all those that have served, and also particularly this holiday, given their lives to this country, so that we may still be free as we are.
Absolutely.
Um,
America.
America. Well, speaking of America, we got some news that I just saw when I walked in the studio on our friend Kingfish's JacksonJambalaya.com website. It is.
Is it anti-vax news on over
No,
there
he's
on
not.
Jack?
We'll have an episode where you and Kingfish argue about the vaccines. I'm
Oh,
just
it'd
going to
be
sit there.
so much
We're
fun.
gonna invite him in. He definitely will do it. I'd love to see this
He's gonna
debate.
get beat down.
Kingfish. Oh, see that Kingfish, you're getting called out, Lindsay, and I'm not going to say a word because I don't get yelled at by you, and I don't get yelled at by him. So I'm just going to sit there because I've known him for 20 years, and I've gotten
Yeah,
yelled at
but
him for
I'm
20 years.
right.
And then now I know I'm going to get yelled at by you, so I just don't win. It's a thing of Shaun loses no matter what, so I'm just not going to involve myself.
Kingfish, you bring it.
So anyway,
Bring
Kingfish,
it.
Lindsay has challenged you to a debate on the vaccines. You heard it here first. So right on his site, I just saw that our own Kim Wade, WYAB's own Kim
Radio
Wade,
Strongman.
and who's not so strong at the CrossFit gym, that sponsors the show, CrossFit 500. But hey, he gets it.
Kim, I will slap him for you if you want me to. I will be glad to do it.
Speaking of that, I talked to our friend Michael Applewhite, who does a ton of t-shirts. You guys should use his business, by the way. He's great. We're going to go pick up our Murph shirts. We're running Murph on Monday. What Murph is honors Lieutenant Michael Murphy. He was a Navy SEAL. And it's an annual tradition at all the CrossFits around the country where you run 1 mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, then run another mile. You're supposed to wear a 20-pound vest. I've never done that. Most people in my CrossFit has never done that. But it's if you want to do the full thing, that's what it is. But you can scale it down. Anyway, it's open to the public 9 a.m. at CrossFit 500. And
I'm going to sleep in and meet Shaun for a drink afterwards.
Yeah, that's my annual tradition. After that, Murph, after I'm dead, is to go get a beer because you really earned it after that workout. So, I hope Kim will be there because he's a member of CrossFit 500 too. So I'll be waiting for Kim to be at Murph. I'm going to go pick up our Murph t-shirts, Kim. So we got you one too. And anyway, so the article is about Kim Wade that I did not know. So Kim Wade, it says here, backs Ronnie DePriest.
So Kim Wade has pulled out of the.
I don't know if he's pulled out. I'm going to read it. I'm reading this live time.
Okay.
Jackson mayoral candidate Kim Wade, as he says here in the article,
Radio
Strongman, through his support behind fellow candidate Ronnie DePriest. Mr. Wade said DePriest was the most qualified candidate with his background in accounting, business, background in construction, working large projects with Trustmark and his ministry. The Radio Strongman said another candidate, Zachary Service, had asked him to drop out of the race, but he declined to do so. Kim Wade says, Rodney represents a calming presence the city government needs to restore the working systems of Jackson. John Horn's a great guy, but we need John Horn to stay in the Senate to continue those relationships. We need DePriest to bring stability. John can get us the grants, but we have more needs than that. In my campaign, I've always said I'm not trying to be a leader. I'm trying to be an asset manager. If I were mayor choosing a candidate at this time, I would choose Rodney first, Zach second, me third, and John Horn fourth. I'm not going to be mayor, but in the best interest of Jackson, I need the man who will stabilize the systems of Jackson with some green eye shades, some compassion, and some calmness. Great statement, Kim. Actually, I'm going to give Kim credit, even though we disagree on tons of stuff. Like, that's pretty noble of you to take away your interest for what you think is the best thing for the city.
So Shaun, will you change your vote now
I vote for Ronnie DePriest now?
Because you said that you fully intended to vote for Kim Wade.
Yeah, I was.
So now that this is the statement that Kim has put out, and I've told you, I've met Ronnie DePriest. I really like him.
Yeah.
I'm not so impressed with John Horn and the things that he's done in the Senate. He just doesn't align with my views and opinions on things.
Yeah, I mean, those
Obviously.
views can be kind of wild, you know. That's, if you ask me. Anyway, I don't
Nobody
know.
asked you, so
I'll have to think about it. Here's a problem I have with DePriest, and what I've heard recently. What I
I
don't
feel like you should meet him and talk to him.
I'm sure he's great. This is not a knock on him. I don't like what the Chokwe people are doing, who I've talked to, who are saying that, you know, black folks don't like Horn. I'm like, so my response to them was this. I think I told you about this. I said, really? Well, they obviously didn't like Chokwe either because he got his butt whooped. So that narrative is, I'm like, that narrative's crap. So they're saying that DePriest is going to win. And so I'm like, are the Chokwe people behind DePriest? So that bothers me. Like, because I'm hearing that from them, like directly from some
I
of the,
feel like
you know,
they think DePriest probably has the best chance behind John Horn or other than John Horn.
mhm.
And they have so much hostility with John Horn and his campaign because he's the one that beat the pants off of them.
Yeah. And so like,
So they're, I imagine, just going to support the next person. And
so the
that they think
Lumumba people
could
are
be successful.
possibly behind DePriest. Like, that bothers me. I mean, I'm
Well,
not comfortable with that.
well, I don't know that they're necessarily behind him. They're just behind whoever they think can beat John Horn.
Okay.
And
It's
is
just
what-
kind of the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Because they have so much, I think, hostility with John Horn because of how the you know, it went,
Yeah.
how the votes turned out between Horn and Chokwe. So I think that they're just probably wanting to put their support behind whoever they think has the best chance against John Horn.
Well, yeah, and that makes sense. I
Because
mean, and I
DePriest
don't,
is not aligned with Chokwe.
and I don't think Kim would put his support behind somebody that was aligned with the Lumumbas. I mean,
No.
I just want to make sure the Lumumbas have no power in city government whatsoever.
Oh,
is my
I
biggest
can
thing.
tell
So-
you without a shadow of a doubt that they're not going to have power within a Rodney DePriest Rodney DePriest administration.
Okay, well, so there, Kim has done that. So Kim is asking you basically to forego voting for him, I'm guessing, and vote for Ronnie DePriest if he's back in
That's
the
what it
priest.
sounds like.
So that's like I said, pretty noble move. And if he thinks that's, you know, let's see how that goes. Now Zach Service has asked. He said, ask him to drop out. Well, why doesn't Zach drop out then if everybody's on the DePriest train? Now, and look, I'm like, this is nothing to knock against Zach. I think Zach has run a great grassroots campaign. I'm gonna give him credit for that. He really has. But I mean, if everybody's saying, I'm just saying, if everybody's saying, let's beat Horn on the independent side here,
then why not all of them get behind one
seems
candidate
like
who seems to be, you know, has the best chance?
They may not have time to drop out, I guess, with the names are on the ballots already, aren't they?
Right. I'm sure the ballots are already printed. I mean, I think, have they already started voting yet?
Probably. I mean, we're less than 2 weeks out.
Yeah. So names are already on the ballot, but you know, RFK's name was on the ballot in the presidential election, and he put his support behind Trump and told people, like you said, forego voting for me. You know, Trump is the best chance that we have to take the country back, and we all need to be behind him. So it seems like that would be, you know, if this is what Kim Wade is doing, seems like that would be the noble thing for Zach Service to do as well. It would be to, you know, obviously you can't drop out and remove your name at this point, but you can say, hey, this is the best shot we've got. So we're all going to put our support behind this one guy.
Okay. That's, I mean, I guess Zach could, you know, it seems like, I mean, if they want somebody to beat Horn, then does Zach think that, I haven't heard from Zach. I guess I could ask him whether he thinks DePriest is, what his feelings are. I think he's positive about DePriest. I think I've read that. I just don't remember.
I haven't seen anything negative about DePriest.
No, I'm talking about from Zach's perspective in terms of like, I think I've heard him say positive things about DePriest. I'll text him and ask him. I don't know exactly what he thinks about that. But if he does think, well, does everybody think that DePriest has got, out of those three, Kim, Zach, and DePriest, that DePriest has the best shot to beat John Horn? Well, if so, then I think maybe Zach would need to put his support behind DePriest. And get a job in the DePriest administration. I think you should hire Zach and Kim. I think that'd be great.
I agree. I think that all of those guys that ran as independents, you know,
might be the time now.
Yeah, it would be the time. And they had, you know, the purpose of them running was to rid Jackson of the horrible administration under Chokwe and Lumumba. And so I think that they would all probably end up somehow working within.
Yeah, I think they should. They seem like they're really passionate. Do we know Kim is? I think Zach's very passionate about Jackson. I mean, these people are really invested in this. And if that were to, you know, I mean, I think John Horn, if he wins, I think he's most likely going to win. But if he wins, he should consider hiring.
Well, I'll tell you what. They gave somebody a nail gun on the loose in Jackson.
Now that was annoying to me. Okay, I will say
somebody has
this.
gone a little crazy with their nail gun.
So y'all, there's a bridge next to my house. I live on Monroe Street. Don't throw eggs at my house anyway in Jackson. And there's a bridge next to my house that's over a creek, and it's a little wooden bridge, and you walk over it. And I was walking my dog the other morning before CrossFit, and I see this giant John Horn sign on it, and I'm like, so I walk up to it, and it's like screwed in or bolted to the wood bridge, the wood railings on the bridge. And I was like, so I got really mad. I took a picture of it, and I said, look, I'm so thankful to John for whipping the crap out of that SOB. I can't tell you, like, I mean, literally, like, I'd give him money. Like, I think it's so great what happened. That being said, you need to do things the right way, and that's the wrong way to
because that's public.
Yeah, that, and it wasn't just there. We were driving around yesterday.
Right, we saw numerous
around Belhaven and Fondren that
this
were
morning. I saw a
places.
ton, and they're all bolted onto
public property,
and some of them even on private property. And here's something really funny that I saw this morning, Shaun. There was a fence when you turn off a fortification.
Yeah,
there's a fence there in somebody's yard that has a DePriest sign, and then someone had come with these horn signs and put this big horn sign up next to their DePriest sign. And I'm thinking, if that person put that DePriest sign up there, and then these horn people came along and stapled this big John Horn sign right next to it, like, I would have a big problem with that if it was my property and I was supporting DePriest.
Yeah,
and I don't know who let put this person
this bandit, and they're not like small campaign, they're giant,
they're huge,
like,
and they're on every fence within that Belhaven area that you can. And this just happened.
Go over to the old Lou's location. There was one there. There's one in the parking lot of the old Jitney Jungle and whatever, Grocery Depot, whatever it was. It's closed down now. There's a bunch of them everywhere. And I think it's just, look, Horn campaign, you guys need to get out there and take those things down. Like, it's just not, you cannot just put those things on public property like that. And you really, like, little things like that piss people off when you don't do things, because it makes you think that you are not going to do things correctly when you are mayor. Like, if you can't even get the campaigning ethics right. So if somebody in the Horn campaign, get out there and take that stuff down, because it looks bad. It does.
It doesn't look good for him.
No, it does. And I don't think John's sitting there telling people to do that. I think some idiots in his campaign are out there doing that rogue wise. I mean, just putting, we're going to put up signs, bolt them in. I mean, you already have the momentum to win. You don't need to act like an a-hole and do that, is what I'm saying. Like, what's the point? You're not, I mean, I would expect that more out of like an insurgent campaign. And he's not. He's the front runner. Like, he is the most likely next mayor of Jackson.
I think DePriest is going to give him a run for his money. And I've been saying that. I've said that months ago. And I think you are counting him out too soon.
And I might be. And you know what? I will say that if he wins, I do not see a white man being elected mayor of Jackson, though. I just don't see that happening. I'm just being a realist. Don't see it happening. He might give him a great run. Hopefully he does. Whatever. I don't care what race you are to become mayor of Jackson. I'm just giving the reality of the situation. Seems like John Horn to me. And he's not just like, you got to think about this too. And Kingfish and I had this conversation the other day. It's not like every white person is just going to vote for Ronnie DePriest because he's a white. That's not true. But
you think every black person is just going to automatically vote for John Horn because he's black?
I don't. But I think a lot of white people think like, just because he's white people are going to vote for him. The Jeff Goods, the people that are behind Horn, they're all going to vote for John Horn. They're gonna do that. They're not voting for DePriest.
You don't think that a lot of these people were behind John Horn because he's who they needed to win to rid us of Chokeway first?
I think there's some people like that, but I think the business community is committed to John Horn. I do think that. I think they're very committed to John Horn.
We will see.
Absolutely believe that. Okay. Well, we are up to this our break.
Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here. WIB 103.9, crossing the aisle with Shaun and Lindsey. IB 103.9, crossing the aisle with Shaun and Lindsey.
.9 WYAB.
Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym, 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren. I'm Sean Yurtcron, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom, first as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
For the first time ever, Carter Jewelers is allowing you to determine the price. In regard to the remaining jewelry purchased from the Fab Terror bankruptcy, we will be selling this jewelry to a New York liquidator very soon. Before we sell to the liquidators, I'm inviting you to come to Carter Jewelers and make an offer on any piece of this jewelry for whatever price you are willing to pay. So if the price you've offered is more than what we expect to get from the liquidation company, and it makes sense, we'll sell it to you. There's almost 1,000 pieces of this Terra jewelry to choose from, and the sale prices we have on it is already a steal. Each piece of this jewelry is gorgeous and beautifully made. So you determine the price sale at Carter Jewelers is going to be on for just a little while. Interest-free and no credit check financing is available, and trade-ins are welcome. Established in 1849 downtown Jackson on High Street, 2 blocks from the Capitol and Pemberton Plaza in Vicksburg. Shop now while we still have this massive selection at Carter Jewelers.
School's out, and McDee's in Ridgeland is the perfect place for family fun this summer. Enjoy our famous $12 Blue Plate specials every Monday through Friday, and now kids eat for just $5. That's right, just $5. Bring out the whole crew and enjoy our huge patio with lots of TVs, plenty of fans, and a safe space where kids can play while you kick back and relax. Family friendly, budget friendly, and always a good time. McBee's Bar and Grill, buzzing the res since 1982. Check out McBee's Bar and Grill on Facebook for today's special.
Now's the time to get a great deal on a Kubota Z200 series mower with the new K-Ride comfort system. Designed to optimize your ride, the series delivers a quality cut and an exceptional ride. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0.99% APR for up to 36 months. Now through June 30th, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Divini Equipment, serving you in Madison and Jackson. Stop, call, or click at DiviniEquipment.com.
Attention homeowners and business owners. Complete Exteriors is now Elite Roofing and Gutters. Are your roof and gutters storm ready? The folks at Elite are your local experts in storm protection. Now is the time for an inspection and for proactive solutions that ensure your roof and gutters can withstand any storm. Get up to a possible $250 rebate on a new roofing system for all active military, veterans, and retirees. Online at EliteRoofer.com.
Come together right now over me.
Welcome back into Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey, where we have been breaking down what we think is going to happen in the Jackson mayor's race.
Yeah, we see Zach Services comment on the YouTube.
Yeah,
Zach, if you want to call in and
Zach, if you're watching, you want to call and tell us what you think about
mayor's race.
Oops. That's still on. If you're going to call and tell us what you think about Kim Wade kind of putting his support behind DePriest and where you stand on that, what your feelings are. We would love to get your opinion on it. 601-879-0002. And anyone else wants to call and give us your thoughts and opinions, we would love to hear those as well. If anyone wants to go take down all the huge John Horn signs.
I'm telling Kingfish is going to call in, I think, too, to talk about his articles here. There's another article he had up about old Zach, our buddy Zach here.
Oh,
Zach,
somebody's calling him.
Oh, okay, who we got?
Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? Zach Service here.
Hey, Zach, what's up? Hey, Zach.
And not too much.
We got a couple questions for you. You've had quite a busy week, obviously. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we just saw this when we got to the studio about Kim. And Kim had texted me this the other day, but sometimes when Kim texts you about stuff, you don't know whether he's joking with you
Are
or
we
what.
still having deer and beer?
Yeah, I know. Are we still having deer and beer?
Yeah.
Kim. I've got different group threads with Kim that I never know when he's being serious. Kim is a notorious prankster. So but he texted me about like something about him and DePriest, and I didn't know, so I didn't announce it on air. But then I saw Kingfish had the article up today once we got in here about Kim is now putting his support against on Rodney DePriest, and I was reading the article and it said something about you had asked him to drop out, or did you ask him to drop out, or Rodney DePriest? I'm confused. I was just confused the way it was worded.
I'm not positive, but I had a conversation with Kim where we discussed the race, and we both discussed each other dropping out
to
work for each other's respective campaigns. But Kim said what he's always said is that he just wants what's best for Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And I already told Kim, I got some bars for him, endorsing for the ops. But at the same time, I understand his decision. Now, I don't know if that will help or hurt DePriest, since a majority of voters are not a fan of Kim Wade here in Jackson. So I think that will gain, DePriest a few supporters on perhaps the Republican and the more conservative side. But the majority of Kim's support comes from outside of Jackson.
Right. Yeah,
so,
I agree with
whereas the majority of my support comes from Jackson, and I am touching a demographic that Kim would never be able to touch, because the demographic that he needs to win doesn't like him.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm getting those votes, and I'm knocking doors. I'm in the streets. I'm talking to people who don't know.
Are you saying the black folks don't like Kim, Zach? Is that what you're like? Because I tell him that a lot.
I didn't say that.
I'll say it. I tell him that all the time.
I like Kim.
I like him too, but we're not black.
I like it. But he, the way he delivers things, it just erupts in the wrong way usually.
A little bit.
You gotta,
Zach,
you gotta have your
I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you knocking doors now with your T-shirt inside out?
You're funny. No, I was within my rights to knock doors with my shirt how it is, and I was within my rights to come at 6 p.m.
We
after
agree.
voting hours were closed to give my public comment. I'm looking forward to suing them for that.
Was that Virgie Lindsey who kicked you out?
That was Virgie Lindsey who said I couldn't speak repeatedly, and it was Councilman Grizel who ordered JPD to escort me out.
Okay.
When I read that, I was just shocked that they.
Tina Clay also spoke out against me as well during the
Tina Clay
kerfluffle.
Why were they? I mean, why did they give a crap? Basically, is the easiest way that you were wearing your campaign at the city council. It didn't seem.
Well, for one, we know that they love the power trip here at City Hall, and they're in their last month of having power over people. But they also know that every time I speak, I'm exposing something wrong they're doing. And I had some good comments I was about to deliver. I had no intention to campaign while I was up there. I was simply did not have time to go and make a whole change, and I did not feel it was necessary since I was complying with state law. But this is something that our Jackson leadership for decades have been woefully undereducated on, is the difference between city ordinances, city policies, and state law, which is how we got sued by the state for us trying to alter the open carry law.
Well, it sounds like they just want to make up their rules as they go.
Pretty much. I mean, they said it's long-standing city policy. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. It's long-standing city policy. That's wrong.
Yeah. Zach, here's what I was thinking about. So, I live in Belhaven, and I vote over at the college right there at that precinct. Well, let's assume that when I was thinking about your situation, is like, let's assume I'm wearing a Zach Service for Mayor shirt.
You can't vote in it.
No, I'm not talking about like today. Like I go down there today because that building is used for other purposes than a voting polling
If voting
place.
is going on, you can't.
But I'm saying, but nobody's voting in there today, I would assume. Or, I mean, nobody's voting at the polling place in today. Talk about today.
Okay.
If I go down there with a Zach Service for Mayor shirt into that building, which is on the Belhaven College campus, and it is used as a polling place on election day, but today it's not used as a polling place.
Because the early voting's done at the
circuit clerk's office, right?
So I don't know why you couldn't.
So why can't I walk over on the Belhaven College? You see my argument? You know what I'm saying, Zach? Like,
well, you're correct. You're 100% correct. But again, we live in, and this is one thing where, I am an independent, but I can recognize the fallacies that exist in both parties. The Democrat Party is very much a party of more government control, more law, but also they tend to be more in favor of social help, right? Whereas Republicans are in favor of less government, less laws, but anytime it comes to the government helping you socially, they're like, we don't want to do that either, right? So, it's like,
for sure,
we have to recognize we're in a Democrat-run city, and typically the Democrat mentality is we want to make a law for everything. We want to control every little aspect of life. So that's why you have like Councilman Grizel a month or two ago touting, hey, we got this city ordinance passed that basically is just saying the same thing as a state law. It literally was a complete waste of paper and trees, but they don't enforce state law. So they write a bunch of ordinances and policies to do it their way. The same reason we require a local license for electricians when we already have the state with the master license. We're just creating redundancies that waste taxpayer dollars and waste time, and often, as you're seeing with what happened with me, infringe on people's constitutional rights.
Now, I mean, yeah, which is just, it was unbelievable. I mean, for that reason. Now, I know with the time we got left, let me ask you a question. I can talk to you in a minute about your thoughts on the election as a whole. I know you're running, so you would probably say, hey, yes, I'm going to win. But assuming you didn't win, who do you think, and you're really plugged in, even more so than me and Lindsey, because you're on boots on the ground every day. What's your sense of the community in terms of Horn and DePriest? I'm just, because I mean, Lindsey's saying DePriest has got all this support, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. So I know you know, so that's why I want to ask.
Yeah, and again, this is no diss to Mr. DePriest. You know, I think he would make a great mayor, but I'm yet to meet a person who even knows he exists. When I'm out in South Jackson, when I'm out in West Jackson, I mean, I'm knocking doors in neighborhoods, and they're not even aware there is an independent candidate until I introduce myself. Mm-hmm. So right now, from my perspective, knocking doors in West Jackson, Midtown, and South Jackson, it's me versus Horn. And they all say, you're the only candidate who's even showed up. Horn didn't show up here. DePriest hasn't shown up here. We didn't even know about him. And obviously, you have to take that with a grain of salt, because people in Jackson forget that we're a city of almost 150,000 people, right? Yeah. So there's no way every candidate without the most ginormous boots on the ground team is going to knock your door personally out of 150,000 people. It's 2025. But at the same time, they're not even aware, and they're watching on TV. I don't ever hear them mention DePriest. Whenever someone says, hey, we're voting for the white guy, they're always talking about me. Whenever somebody says, we saw you on TV, they don't even know. They're like, who are the other independents? They didn't know there was anyone else. So it could be skewed, but from my perspective, it's actually me versus Horn.
So, but do most people think generally John Horn already won? I mean, I guess the way people are unplugged.
There are a lot of people, because, you know, the media plays into that, right?
Yeah.
They really play into that, and they don't really go out of their way to educate people on how primaries work. So it is on a lot of people I've run into that they thought the race was over, and you just have to educate them real clear, like, hey, no, that was a primary for the party. Here's what your options are. And I'll usually tell them, like, there's me, there's Rodney DePriest, there's Kim Wade. But right now, you know, I do believe that come election day, if I was to lose, you're going to see me in a very, very close second.
To John Horn.
Correct.
Okay, I got you. Well, that's interesting. Well, Zach, we appreciate you calling in, man, and good luck. And I just told Lindsey, you know, you are one of the most active candidates I've ever seen. I'll give you that. So you were out there. You're pretty. You can't say if you lose, you can't say you didn't leave it all on the field, man.
100%, man. Appreciate the time, guys.
All right.
Thanks. Yeah, I've heard differently.
Yeah, I know you. I mean, a lot of people have. I mean, like a lot of people have, and you know, it's called. I don't know. I don't know what. It's so hard to know in a city like Jackson what's really the temperature. You know what I mean? What is really now? I mean, I'm listening. You know, obviously Zach's got an interest in his own campaign. I don't blame him. He's running for office. He should be confident about what he's doing, and that's the way you should run. I mean, I don't dispute that.
I think I was telling you this yesterday on the show. I feel like, and from what I've been told and what I'm hearing from people who I fully respect their opinion and think that they know what they're talking about, the DePriest has been campaigning years prior to this in his own way. And so we'll see. I mean, it should be interesting the way things shake out. Well, we got to take a quick break, and then I think we're going to have Kingfish call in.
Shaun will talk about all his articles, and
see
he's
what
got a
he
podcast up too today. So
does
I'm listen
he?
to that when I
see if he's willing to take me up on my offer to debate. We'll see. Y'all stay with us right here at WIB 103.9. We will be right back. To debate. We'll see. Y'all stay with us right here at WIB 103.9. We will be right back.
.1039 WYAB.
At Johnny's Pizza House, we consider our customers like family, so we spend the extra time needed to put more love into making our pizza. From our dough made fresh daily to fresh, never frozen ingredients, Johnny's Pizza House takes pride in knowing that what we serve our customers isn't just pizza. It's a slice of home in every single bite. Great traditions start with great food and great people. Start your tradition today with Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420. mypureairconsultant.com.
CBS News Brief. A federal judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration from barring Harvard from enrolling international students. James Sample is a professor at Hofstra University Law School.
If the administration does not back down, Harvard will fight this all the way to the Supreme Court, and I think Harvard will win.
President Trump is threatening a 25% tariff on iPhones if Apple doesn't make them in the U.S. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi.
The president is pushing for manufacturing here in the United States. And so clearly this morning issuing this Truth Social post as a message, a warning to one of the biggest companies in the U.S.
Billy Joel has canceled all his scheduled concerts. The 76-year-old piano man says he's been diagnosed with normal pressure hydrocephalus, a rare brain disorder that causes hearing, vision, and balance issues. He's undergoing physical therapy. CBS News Brief, I'm on.
Delicious food and a relaxing atmosphere combine to make the best place for sports fans and foodie fans to watch the game and just hang out. Capitol Grill of Jackson. Of course they've got the games, but food, oh my goodness. Mouth-watering po' boys, fish, steaks, appetizers, and a specialty pizza menu. Kitchen opens at 5 Monday through Thursday and 11 Friday through Sunday. And happy hours are daily at Capitol Grill. Also enjoy the all-new Tuesday night and karaoke on Wednesday and Friday nights from 8 till midnight with DJ Money Mod. Capitol Grill, DeVille Plaza in Jackson. Pops Auto Sales on Highway 49 in Florence is where you come to buy quality cars, trucks, and SUVs. Priced to fit your budget. At Pops Auto, we specialize in trucks. From four-wheel drives to diesels, our satisfied repeat buyers know Pops has one of the largest truck inventories for any independent dealer, period. Browse Pops inventory at popsautosales.llc.com and get pre-approved for a zero down payment with approved credit. With warranties and service contracts available. Pops Auto Sales, your home for trucks. Highway 49 South in Florence.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASC certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best. Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
We all make plans for the future, like car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design insurance plans that protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance ranked #1 for auto insurance in the Forbes 2024 World's Best Insurance Companies survey.
Ask Jamie Creel about Shelter's auto, home, and life options.
Come together.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey, and I think
our buddy Kingfish is on the line, correct?
I believe so.
All right, this Kingfish from
Kingfish,
Jackson,
you there?
I'm here.
All right.
There he is, man of the hour.
Well, Kingfish, you heard us talk about Zach was just on with us talking about.
I haven't listened to any of the show.
Okay, well, let me give you an update. So
you missed the first segment because I called you out, Kingfish.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. But we sat down and we saw your latest article about Kim Wade is backing Rodney DePriest now, and we were talking about that. And there was a part of the article where you mentioned Zach Service had asked Kim to drop out, I believe.
That's what Kim said, yeah.
Yeah, and so we had Zach called in and explained that, yes, they had those discussions, and we discussed his thoughts on the race. So what are your...
What did he say?
He's not backing out.
He's not backing out.
He says he's going to come in, if he loses, that he's going to come in a very close second behind John Horn.
Who said that, Zach?
Yeah.
Zach did.
No. Kim said Zach had asked him to drop out.
Right, that's right. He did say that. That's what we discussed with him. But I'm saying Zach, we had Zach on, and Zach, we were talking about what were Zach's thoughts on the race, and Zach was saying, well, if he lost, he'd come a close second to John Horn. That's in his belief that Zach would be number 2 in the race.
Well, he's certainly been creating buzz in the campaign.
And that's what I was telling Lindsay. I mean, he's run he's worked.
I don't know if it'll translate into votes, but he's been creating, because it's a lot more than just getting buzz. I mean, you got to create get out the vote organization. I mean, efforts. I mean, things like that. I mean, poll watching. I mean, there's all kinds of other stuff that go into it.
Yeah.
Well, what I've been telling Shaun, Kingfish, is that I've heard from some pretty reliable, trustworthy sources is that DePriest has kind of been campaigning years prior to this, leading up to getting ready for this run for mayor. DePriest.
DePriest, yeah, okay.
And I think he's got more support than a lot of people realizes he has.
He does, but when we get the finance reports, should be next week actually.
Okay.
Then we can take a good look. I mean, if he's raised just 15, 20 grand, forget it. I mean,
it's over at that
point.
point.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you can only get a campaign so far without money, as many a candidate can testify to. So let's see what his fundraising is.
Yeah,
and I can tell you, how well he'll probably do. But if you're raising, say, 30,000 or below, okay, you'll get some Republican and white votes. Not all of them, because I think there's going to be a few whites vote for John Horn.
Yeah, that's what Shaun was saying.
Like the Jeff Good types, all them, they're all going to vote for Horn. I mean, so you
Kingfish,
can't
you were listening.
No. I was saying the conversation Kingfish and I had last weekend about Kingfish. It said
Jeff
Good. Those people are going to vote for Horn.
Yeah. So you figure 15% of the vote is white. I mean, of the registered voters anyway. So you got to figure, I'd say probably 5% at least is going to go for Horn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, right. That's. I think you're definitely. I mean, I don't know that Ronnie DePriest is just going to get the. I don't know that he's going to. I don't believe he's going to get the majority of white voters. Kingfish. I don't believe that he is.
He may not.
I think Horn will actually win that demographic.
He may not. I mean, has he running any commercials?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like in my neighborhood, for instance, in Bellhaven, I don't know anybody that's ever heard of him except for our mutual friend Pete Perry. Like everybody else I talked to doesn't even know he's
until this campaign, I didn't know who the guy was. And of course, I don't get out much. Of course, I'm a recluse, but I still had never heard of the guy much. I mean, before this year.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. Before a few months ago, I couldn't told you anything about him.
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe that's on me, but I couldn't.
Oh, I couldn't either. And, I think we are as plugged in as anybody else. I mean, considering in the years in Jackson and stuff, in Jackson politics. So I think we would probably have heard of him.
But I think that's how he wanted it. I think he's wanted to stay low key under the radar. He's been in these black churches for years gaining support. And I think that's kind of his play on this.
But honestly, I believe it when I see it, because I've seen the whites trying to play the black church game before, and they'll say whatever to them, and then come election day, they turn right around and vote like they always have. And
it should be interesting. It should be interesting.
Yeah, and like I'm just saying, so if I would like to see I'm sure we'll get to see the neighborhood breakdowns and general and whether what kind of like the DePriest won Bellhaven. I don't believe that.
What's funny is Antar's people and Mr. Other, they've been all of a sudden. I mean, they were so anti-white, it was hilarious. All of a sudden, they're back, they're saying, get out there and support DePriest.
Oh, yeah. I told you about that talking to some of them. Yeah.
But, Kingfish, do you not think that that's because they think that they have so much animosity towards John Horn because of how bad they got beat?
Oh, yeah.
And they think that maybe DePriest stands the best chance against John Horn. And so they're going
They just want anybody but John Horn in there.
Right.
At that point now.
That's what I think.
I mean, remember, you're talking to people who are, I'm sorry, fellas, but to the audience, they're not that bright. I mean, they're really not.
In fact, some of them were kind of just plain dumb. Okay, I mean, so you can expect stupid stuff like this out of them because it's what they do. It's what they've always done. It's how you run a city into the ground and everything you do. You know.
What are your thoughts on a possible runoff? Do you think that's even gonna likely to happen at all, or what?
You can't have a runoff.
You can't have a runoff in general.
Municipal and general elections, municipal is a plurality.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Found that out in the ward.
I didn't know that either.
I was curious about the Ward 1 race, so I went and looked it up, and I saw the statute.
Wow. So it's just whoever gets the most.
You should have a runoff, but
it doesn't have to be 50+1. It's just whoever gets the most.
You got it.
Is that
That's
the
how
only?
You wound up with that. That's how you wound up with that crazy mayor over in Tallahatchie that time. It was a black mayor. She had 2 white candidates, and it was even though it was a majority white town. They split the white vote, and it was enough for her. And neither one would drop out. It was enough for her to walk in there. Which, by the way, you might see happen in Ward 1. By the way,
what was her name? Was she the one that ran against
Beecham?
She ran against Celeste. Beecham. She ran against Celeste Hurst for her House seat.
Okay. Are you talking about like in the Ward 1 in Ashby's ward?
I mean, you got the same thing. You got it's probably about 55% black, and I mean, so you got Jasmine Barnes over here, then you got Grace Green and Ashby Foote over here. You know, they're going to split the white vote, and the question is, can they pull off enough black votes to beat Jasmine Barnes? And I don't know that they can.
I don't think they can. I think Jasmine Barnes is going to win that ward. I agree with that. I think.
Which, I mean, I've heard her at the town hall forums. I mean, you know, I'm not going to lose sleep if she gets in there.
No,
I mean, she's a CPA. She sounded
Ashby's been in there for a
smart.
while. Right?
I mean, so you know. When you compare the usual knuckleheads that go on the city council, you know.
Yeah, I kind of like her. You know, she recently requested me as a friend on Facebook, and I see her stuff. She seems like a reasonable person.
Oh, gee, she's your Facebook friend.
I'm just saying
now.
I can see what she's writing.
Me.
I'm saying I can see what she writes. So, like, she seems like a reasonable person. That's what I've noticed.
Well, I figure she's working over there for Brad White. She's probably got some brains. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
There you go. I mean. I could see. I think she's going to win that too. I think Ron Aldridge is going to pull out the Warren 7 race. I really believe that. He's got a lot of support.
And one thing that hasn't come out yet, maybe I need to bring it out there, but is he's running around saying he's an educator, but he doesn't really get into his record. Well, I'll tell you why.
Okay? Kevin Parkinson?
Because he was the principal of Midtown Charter School for years, and Midtown Charter School, in my opinion, if there's a charter school that needed to shut down over the years, that was the one, because every year they were either D or F, and usually it was an F, period.
Can you tell us the story about the van?
Hang on, that's his record. I mean, that's relevant.
Let's be clear, Kingfish. That's Kevin Parkinson, not
Kevin
Aldridge. You're talking about Kevin Parkinson. No, I said Aldridge.
Parkinson, his opponent. Parkinson, the opponent. And so, but they were D's or F's every single year. I mean, and he got I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He got forced out. You want to call it terminated, forced to resign, whatever. He got forced out. Now they got to have Tony Yarber, of all people, is now in charge of the 2 Midtown schools. And my understanding is their scores are improving. I'll be surprised if you don't see an improvement in the next year or two out of them. Because Tony knows he knows how to educate. He enjoys it. And
what does Kevin do?
His kids go there, and they all love the improvements he's made to it.
What does Kevin Parkinson do for a living now? I don't even know. What does he do?
I don't know. I just know he has a tag on his car that says "Vote Dim," and then he likes to run stoplights in front of cops.
That's the story I was wanting you to tell. It cracks me up when you tell that story.
I'm sitting there one Saturday morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning. I went to get coffee, so I'm sitting there 7:30 in the morning, right in front of UMC, the big stoplight in front of there, whereby crosswalks. And I've noticed this guy when I pull up on the left lane. He's got a "Vote Dim" tag. Okay, of course I've noticed that one. I just glance at him. It's a white guy, and so then. He just halfway through the light cycle, through the red light, he's just tired of waiting. You understand? He's got to get to his fondant cups and for where he can go to his Antifa meeting. You know, so he's just sitting there and he decides, you know what? Screw this. Takes off. Didn't bother to look in his rearview mirror and see the big old Capitol Police SUV sitting right behind him. And he just immediately, he didn't get 10 yards before those lights came on and pulled him over. And I'm laughing. I should have videotaped it, but I was just laughing so hard.
Well, Kingfish, here's my problem.
I had no clue who it was, so I just put it on the website.
Here's my problem.
But there were people who knew exactly who it was. Some of them were friends of mine. They were calling me up going, "Do you know who that was?" I said, "No," and they told me, which made it even funnier.
Kingfish, here's my problem with Kevin Parkinson. So New Year's Eve, Lindsey and I were going to the manship and have dinner on New Year's Eve. And I got an email from somebody about what Virgie had said, that Parkinson went to her basically trying to get her blessing or whatever. And she wasn't willing.
Her endorsement.
But I think she was like silently giving an endorsement. I'm not sure exactly how that worked. Anyway.
That wouldn't surprise me if she did.
I felt that Parkinson was getting shoved down our throats in the neighborhood. I never heard of this guy before. I didn't know him. And I've lived in that neighborhood since 2000.
He's never knocked on your door.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this guy. And now he's getting shoved down my throat that everybody's voting for him. And I'm like, I'm not voting for him because you're telling me that I have to.
What does he stand for? Has he said what he stands for or anything?
No, not really.
Not really. And so now he's a failed educator and I don't know what he does for a living now. Is he just looking for a job? Like, I'm not into that.
I mean, he's got vote dim on his car. I'm saying don't vote for him.
I don't know.
I mean, I like the Aldridge guy. The Aldridge has got a lot of support in my neighborhood. I've seen signs everywhere.
Look at he's got a real resume. Look at it. I mean, he's in the legislature, so he knows politics, but he's also been in business for years. He's a landlord, and I mean commercial landlord over in Fondren. I mean, he owns several prominent properties over there. I mean, he understands business. I mean, that's the kind of people we've been needing on the city council for years, is people like that. I don't care what color they are. I mean, people with decent resumes, not loudmouths, not community activists, not people who can't hold a job or never hold a job. I mean, people who have actually produced something, know how to produce. That's the kind you need on the city council. You know?
I agree. I think he sounds
they're
like
used
he's
to doing
great.
more than just talking about problems. They're used to actually fixing them.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think there was just this cabal in Bellhaven and Fondren that said we had to vote for Kevin Parkinson, and I'm resisting that. I don't know why they're doing it.
It's white liberals around in their 30s and 40s. I mean, they're all in the same little social group together, and he's one of them. I mean, so
God bless them.
That's what's driving
bless
that
their
there.
Hearts.
Yeah, well, hopefully Ron can pull this out. We'll see what happens.
I just like him to explain his record and what does he stand for. That's what I'd like to know, and
Yeah, I'd like to. I don't know. I have no idea what he is or what he does.
Well, Kingfish, we got to take our last break, but you're going to have to go back and listen to the first segment of our show because I challenged you to a debate.
Lindsey wants to have you debate her on vaccines on air one day. So
you don't want to do that.
Oh, I do.
No, you don't. No,
All right.
you don't.
Yes, I do.
No,
All right.
You don't. No, you don't. Bye.
Yes, I do. Bye.
Hang in there.
That could have gone on forever and ever and ever. All right. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back to wrap up this week right before this long Memorial Day weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right before this long Memorial Day weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
Looking to boost productivity and morale in the office? Let Huey Magoo's bring a delicious stress-free lunch right to your workplace. Perfect for team meetings, client presentations, or just a midday pick-me-up. Hand-breaded and grilled tenders, sandwiches, and salads. They make it easy. Just pick your favorites, and they'll deliver everything right to your office. On time, no fuss, no hassle. Whether it's a working lunch, team celebration, or just because, let Huey Magoo's handle the meal, and you handle the business. Huey Magoo's. Make someone smile today.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind with friends and family? El Patrillo Mexican Restaurant is calling your name. With locations in Flowood and Cross Gates, Brandon, El Patrillo is the cozy, family-owned gym where great food meets great times. Enjoy El Patrillo's signature margaritas and happy hour specials that keep their customers coming back for more. Indulge in their authentic Mexican dishes prepared with love and served in a warm, family-friendly atmosphere. Come to El Patrillo and taste the traditions. El Patrillo, where family, flavor, and fun come together.
When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call PeopleLease. Let PeopleLease take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. PeopleLease is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust PeopleLease to simplify their employee administration. Visit peoplelease.com. That's peoplelease.com to learn more.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
I'm here with Lee Bounds of New American Funding. Lee, why is Rita Jensen of Remax Connection your go-to real estate agent?
I highly recommend Rita because she's honest. She just tells it like it is. She has integrity, and I just love referring clients to her because I know when I turn them loose, she is going to take care of them from the start. You'll always be in good hands with her. From the application to the keys, I like to say.
RitaJensen.net. Rita, JENSEN.net.
Hey guys, this is Casey Ellis with Ellis Autoplex, located on Highway 471 in Brandon. Ellis Autoplex, known as Little Truck City, is your old school mom and pop style dealership that's family owned and operated. We specialize in 4-wheel drive trucks, but don't worry, we have cars and SUVs too. Looking to sell your vehicle? Bring it by Ellis Autoplex, where we pay fair market value and we cut you a check on the spot. Need your vehicle service or repair? We can handle that too. Shop us online or set your appointment at ellisautoplex.com. That's ellisautoplex.com.
Come together right now.
We are back here on Crossing the Aisle. Shaun, we still didn't get to talk about your boy, Bill Belichick.
No, we didn't. I put that in the show title. I'm going to stop doing show titles on Facebook and
things just take
YouTube.
their own turn.
Yeah.
And you never know what's going to end up coming out of our mouths at any
Y'all, Kingfish
given
and
day.
Zach Service calling in was not planned. We just kind of went with it. And we saw that one article, and sometimes that is, which is cool. On, on Friday, we didn't really, we had such a big news day yesterday with Saul Goodman's thing and all that stuff. And then we figured nobody's gonna listen today because everybody's out of town or they started drinking before 11. By the way, I do want to say this, and I'm going to do a video later when I get back to my office about it. But this is
Here's our plug.
No, I'm going to plug it, but this is a funny one. My law firm. Okay, this weekend is the DUI gauntlet, folks. I'm just telling you this. If you get a DUI on Memorial Day weekend, you're an amateur drinker. I'm just telling you, you're an amateur drinker and you don't need to drink anymore because the cops literally have extra money to go bust you this weekend. They know when you're driving that you've been drinking. We're all going to be drinking. All of us. This is what you do this weekend. You drink, you do barbecue. It's
Thankfully,
fun.
we can walk to the
Yeah, we can go to the bar. Right. We walk to Rowan's by my house all the time. And so if you're an amateur and you go outside and you decide to get DUI, well, I hate it for you. But call me. I will help you out of that. I will do my best to defend you. I do tons of DUI work in Rankin, Madison, and Hinds County. But call an Uber, please, God, call an Uber because they are going to. If you were in your car after like 10 o'clock on the weekend, this weekend, they are going to pull you over no matter what.
They'll find a reason.
And when you come to my office, I mean, I'm going to help you out, but I'm going to make a joke about this just so you know because that's what I do. I'm going to say, dude, you're an amateur drinker. Like you knew better. You could have called that Uber. You can afford to drink. You can afford to call an Uber. So please. And also for the safety of other people.
Yeah, stay safe this
call
weekend.
An Uber, but
have fun and celebrate Memorial Day, but stay safe. Call an Uber.
OneTextLaw.com. You go to OneTextLaw.com.
Right, see y'all later.
See ya.